Oh.
Yo guys, welcome to episode 2 of the Big 3 podcast. My name is Luke, this is Alex and Oliver. First of all, before we start, just want to say a massive thank you for all the support we received on the last video. It means a lot to us. And before we carry on with this one, just make sure you leave a like and a comment and subscribe to the channel. So without further ado, let's get into it. So of course, nowhere else to start with except for the main story of the week. James Harden traded from the Houston Rockets finally to the Brooklyn Nets. Maybe the biggest trade we've ever seen, no?
Probably.
I think you can make a case for it. I mean, you called it on the last episode. You said we're getting closer.
Yeah,
and it happened.
I mean, of course, if we take it back to that night when he was speaking on the podium after the game, saying situation can't be fixed, it's crazy. Said thanks or walked out. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Never thought it would come to that. But then, literally next day, traded massive haul for Houston. But we'll get on to that. Let's just talk about Harden in Houston first. I'm just going to run off some of the statistics from his time there. So traded from the Thunder, of course, 8-time All-Star, 3-time scoring champion, 1-time assist champion, 1-time steals leader, of course, an MVP. He played 621 games, averaged 29.6 points, 7.7 assists and 6 rebounds, shooting 44% and 36% from three. How will James Harden be remembered in Houston?
I think it's a bit of a bittersweet one because obviously I know how much those Houston fans loved Harden, but I mean I know you guys probably saw the free car wash for a James Harden
trash jersey.
Yeah, that always happens.
No, I'm not sure. Obviously, when something like that ends sour, I think as time goes on, they'll probably ease to it. But obviously, it's such a big deal at the moment that Houston fans are probably not feeling too good.
What I found interesting is literally straight away the Rockets Twitter account posted that tribute video. I don't know if you've seen it. I just remember from the Kawhi trade, Spurs were cold, just said thank you and off he went. So I think the general reaction is that he gave everything he could to the Rockets and sort of got as far as they could. Of course, there was no finals appearance while he was there. Went as far as the Western Conference Finals, of course, against the Warriors. And you could say if Chris Paul's hamstring stayed together in 2018, they could have made it and maybe won it all. But you know, that's just if buts and maybes. Harden as a player, of course, we don't know what's going to happen in Brooklyn, but is it just sort of empty stats with him?
I don't think so. I think he's far from that, especially because if you look at, I mean, specifically the last 3 regular seasons, he's been the most consistent player, in my opinion. Yeah. I'd say over Giannis in terms of, just because they get the top record every year doesn't mean that Giannis is performing better. I think James Harden has been, if not the best regular season player we've seen in the last 3 years. He doesn't miss games. He doesn't load manage. No. He's not like Kawhi, or he's not like some of these other big stars.
Yeah.
He puts all of it in, and that's why I think he's going to be a big factor. Yeah. I mean, people can't say that he won't in Brooklyn.
Well, I was going to go on. You said regular season player. What really matters and what's going to matter for Brooklyn, you know, going all in with this trade is they're going to need that production in the postseason. Can he do that?
Obviously, the ultimate goal in Houston was to win a chip, but you got to factor in that 4 All-Stars from 2017 with his time there, to be honest.
Yeah.
Of course, he had his chance here, but then again, he was always the underdog. It was always going to be hard for him to come away from the Rockets with a ring.
You've got 2 of the greatest playoff players in our generation at the moment with Kyrie and KD. I mean, they've performed unbelievably in the playoff in their recent times, excluding injuries. So I think that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. I can't disagree with that. The only thing I would say is that KD had Steph and Clay, and of course Draymond too, and Kyrie was never the main guy in Cleveland as much as he'd like to think so. So along with that, I saw a tweet just saying how Harden said he gave his all to the Rockets, right?
Yeah.
And he left everything out there. he was effectively GM, right? He was the one making, I want Westbrook, I want Chris Paul. The kind of player who does that really be giving their everything to a franchise? Because for me, that is just sort of short-term decisions and doing all you can to benefit you and your chance to win a championship. I don't personally think he gave his heart and soul to the city, because I think someone who has done that is Damian Lillard, right? Who's stuck with a franchise, hasn't begged for whoever he wants. He's made the best of what he has. I don't think Harden's done that. I think Harden has sort of been acted really spoiled. And if he doesn't get what he wants, then he's going to go. And that's what's happened this summer. You know, I think if he didn't get
you could
Westbrook,
argue that.
Go on, you go.
Damn. Okay. Well, I'll just say, I think you can make a point for that, especially because they went out and got Boogie, they got Christian Wood, they got John Wall. They put some good pieces around him, and I mean, I was watching the Lakers game the other night. I mean, that they couldn't get back and defend. No transition defense.
Yeah.
I mean, when that happens on a consistent basis, you know something's not right with the chemistry. Yeah. The effort wasn't there. There's a fair point to say that he wasn't giving it his all, but I think there's been lots of stuff that's gone on. There's been, I mean, if you think about who's come in and out, it can get tiring. And if he's putting up 30 a night for 3 years and doesn't get anything out of it, I think fair enough, he's going to be a bit fed up. So yeah, it's debatable.
I think it's good for the Rockets. I mean, realistically, Harden was keeping Daryl Morey at basically anything he wanted, he'd get basically, and I think it's a good reset for them to just start all over.
Yeah, I think it's good for Houston as well. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, as we said, Harden, with all the accolades, probably the greatest offensive player of our generation, up there with KD.
100%.
Listen, any team he joins, instant contenders. So we'll see how that goes.
I think that now they have to win this year. Put it that way. They have to win this year or it's a bust. Realistically, like how we put it with Paul George and Kawhi last year, they have to win. It's a must win.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, if I get your point on they have to win. Do you think they're going to win though? If you had to put your money on it, where are you going?
I need to see them play.
Yeah, I haven't seen them play yet. We have to. Sorry, you glitched out a bit. So I'm pretty sure you said we have to see him play. So we'll see.
Yeah, I have seen
about that. But James Harden, I think he'll be remembered for the 60 pointers, the 50 pointers, the step backs, basically showing the most complete offensive arsenal we've ever seen in a player in Houston.
Oh yeah, 100%. Even with how exciting it is in Brooklyn now, I still hedge my bets on the Lakers repeating. I just do. When I look at them and I look at that organization, when it comes down to those sort of grind out games in the playoffs, I trust that organization. It's not just the players that win it. It's organizations that win chips. Yeah. So I think it's all a bit too mismatched with Steve Nash. And as much as I love that guy, I'm not sure how all of this star power is all going to work. And I think the Lakers have got what they have sorted at least.
So Oliver still has the Lakers as the favourites after the trade. Let's go through each team, see how they've done. So obviously we'll start with Brooklyn bringing in Harden. KD, Kyrie, Harden together as a big three. First time ever in the league's history that three players on the same team are in the 20 highest career usage rates of all time. How is this going to work?
I think that carries on from my point. I mean, it's going to be extremely hard when you've got three guys who love having the ball in their hands in crunch time. Who's going to take that last shot? I mean, I know who we'd want taking it, but I mean, yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. I can't wait to see it.
I'd love a reality TV show of Brooklyn for the next 6 months, because that would whether Kyrie's even going to turn up for playoffs. Like, the only one I'd put my trust on is KD, to be honest, just in the whole of just keeping it sane, everything controlled. and then approaching the goal. I don't trust Kyrie or Harden. I think they're both divas when it comes to that type of things. I would put my trust in KD to lead that team.
No, I hear you.
So of course the Rockets traded Harden, picked up LeVert, who they flipped for Oladipo. Also this summer they picked up Christian Wood, who got 27, 15, and 3 blocks last night. He tweeted just at the start of the break, All-Star next year, I believe it. Alex, is Christian Wood an All-Star?
100%. He's going to be an All-Star this year. Okay, I think he should be.
100%.
I mean...
Yeah, I think so too.
He looks real good.
He looks fantastic. Yeah. I liked what you said to Shaq last night too. I like what you said to Shaq about being a casual.
Casual fan, yeah.
He won't be a starter, but he'll be reserved. So Rockets now have 3 sort of stars, if you want to call them that, all-star. Oladipo, Boogie, and Wall coming off big injuries. Oladipo, the ruptured quad, Boogie, the ACL and Achilles, and of course John Wall, the Achilles. On paper, this looks like a solid playoff team. Personally, I don't think they are. I think they'll be at 8th or 9th seed. I don't think chemistry-wise they'll work. Can you see them actually causing any panic amongst the top seeds?
I wouldn't call DeMarcus Cousins a star in his own right. I mean,
just former star.
I know, but
they've all had star moments. They've all had.
No, but I can still see the star moments come out of John Wall and Oladipo. I don't see it in Cousins anymore. As always, he's had problems on the court. It's just not disciplined enough.
No, yeah.
How many?
What?
How many times has he been ejected this season? He got ejected twice in his but 6-7 games.
The last one was not an ejection.
I know.
The last one was bad. To be fair, where he got
but you're right. You're right. He's got the reputation now, and that's not going to help.
And it's whether he can hold up with his injuries.
I just think there's so many good young teams around that 8th spot in the West, and I think they're too. At the moment, they're slightly too old. They're slightly too injured, and I think they're not going to get enough times as a 3 where they're all fit. Yeah. They're all playing 30+ minutes a night, and the chemistry's there. I think it's going to be too much, at least for this season. I'm not writing them off in the future if they even stay together, but I just don't think at this stage they're going to be able to get their act together in time.
Well, Oladipo's a free agent in the summer, and reports suggest that he doesn't want to be in Houston and that ultimately he wants to end up in Miami. Do you think if you were Houston now, you consider flipping him for I don't know who Miami would offer? Maybe you could pick up a couple picks. I wouldn't keep Oladipo if I was Houston. I would consider getting.
You like that one?
Yeah, that just really got me. Why would they trade for Kelly Olynyk? Why would they do that? Right. So the third team in the trade, which we didn't actually expect, Indiana Pacers. They traded Oladipo for LeVert. Currently sat at 8-4 with LeVert, Warren, and Jeremy Lamb yet to play. I think these Pacers are serious. I think they can be a top 3 seed.
I wouldn't go as far as to say top 3. I think there are 3 better teams than them. But I think they'll comfortably finish 4th. I mean, Miami will be, I think, how they were last season, just lurking around 5 and 6.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they'll turn it on in the playoffs. That's what Jimmy does. Yeah. But they're a very good regular season side. I'm not sure how they'll be come playoffs. As they were last year, they crumbled. But I think they'll finish top 4.
Well, yeah, I mean, they've been swept last 3 playoff appearances, but if we look at Sabonis averaging 22, 13, and 6 on 56% shooting, Brogdon 23, 4, and 8 on 47, 45, 88 splits, which is just phenomenal. And then LeVert in his 4 starts with Brooklyn averaged 29, 5, and 8. I think they've got a closer in LeVert, and sort of remind me of the Raptors team, 17, 18 year DeRozan, Lowry, when they're just not a standout superstar, just a group of really good players with great chemistry, great coach. Obviously, for the Raptors, it didn't work out in the playoffs, but I think this Pacers team has a shot in the East.
No, yeah, they got 3%.
Definitely.
Cool.
Yeah, no, definitely. They're. I like how they're coached, and I like the chemistry. They've got a few other good players, like even Doug McBuckets. puts up 12 a night.
It's Hammy Diallo first episode. Now we talk about Doug McDermott, man. Yeah. You're sick.
No, man. Honestly, he's a good player. They got the Holiday guys. They're both good defenders. I think Levert, this is going to be great for him. We know how good he is. He can put up 40. He can put up 30. And I think with those three now in Brooklyn, I think it was good for him to get out. So I agree. I can see them doing well. I think 4 is the cap for them though.
Levert All-Star?
No,
potentially. Don't think. Why not?
I don't think so. I look at how Bradley Beal is playing, how CJ McCollum is playing, how I think James Harden will start to, and he'll become the regular season force for them. I think Kyrie and KD will chill out a bit more in the regular season now.
I mean, if we look at in the East though, it's only Harden and Beal. I can think better than him at the show. Oh, maybe Jaylen Brown too.
Zach LaVine's
having good. But Levert will be on the winning team.
Yeah,
I think that impacts it a lot.
I think Brogdon gets over him personally.
I don't know who that.
Well, if you're playing him 2 guard, or
if you were Nate, Coach Nate of the Pacers, who would you have closing?
Give me Karis LeVert, man.
Either you go to one of the 2 guards.
Yeah, or no, I'd say either go to Sabonis in the post because he's so dominant inside, and he's done it quite a few times recently, where he can hit clutch buckets. But other than that, outside scorer, give me Karis LeVert, man.
Yeah, I mean, because if we're looking at the starting 5 come playoff time, they'll probably have Brogdon, LeVert, Warren, Sabonis, Miles Turner, with the Holiday brothers. I mean, that's a hell of
5.
That's a
big 5.
Good team. Got rid of Nate McMillan. It sort of again, I'm going to bring up the Raptors again, but that sort of changed your coach, sort of adjust your team again, and then finally you break your playoff hump. I don't know. I think the Pacers are definitely a dark horse in these.
I think the Cavs look very exciting this year. I know they probably won't make the playoffs, but they look like a really good young team. Sexton, backcourt.
Yeah.
Goats. But they look very good. They are very good. I think they're both out injured.
That's why I wanted to say it.
He just wanted to say Sexton out loud.
Yeah.
They're so good, man.
No, you're watching Isaac Okoro right now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've got 4 bigs who have good trade value. You look at Love, McGee, Drummond, Allen. I think you could trade any of them off for good value, especially Drummond. I mean, you got
to get rid of Drummond.
You know what? I think they do. Drummond, I'm sorry.
I think you get rid of Drummond and you keep Jarrett Allen.
Even though he's putting up 15 rebounds a night, but
Jarrett Allen can do
Drummond, that. I've never understood. I've just never understood his game. I know he rebounds.
Seriously.
I know he rebounds well, but he doesn't do anything.
It's just empty stats with Drummond, and now you've got Jarrett Allen, 22,
who was the much better defender.
I think you build around Allen in that position.
Definitely.
I think a lot of teams would like Drummond. I mean, look at I'm going to say Toronto. They don't have a serviceable big.
No, they could definitely do with someone like Drummond.
Celtics as well. Celtics don't have a good big.
Celtics, very good. Yeah, 100%. I think you could do well in the Celtics.
Tristan Thompson is the 3rd worst defender in the paint. I think it's the 3rd or 4th. He lets in 68% of shots in the paint.
Jeez. Wow.
I think they need a center.
Yeah.
All right. Players of the week. I'll start off. I've got Paul George, who is on comeback season at the moment. His last 5 games, he's dropped 27, 28, 25, 21, 39, and 25. I just realized that was 6 games, but he's been balling out, man, averaging around 6 and 5 assists and rebounds a game. He's doing well, man. I'm here to defend him on all of the smoke.
I'm bored of Paul George. I'm bored.
Oh, man.
But why? What's he doing?
Because
at the moment
I don't care for
entertaining.
I don't want entertainment from him anymore. I want production in the postseason. Until I see that from him,
on, man.
I won't give him. I'm not doing it because he had that MVP caliber season in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
disappeared in the playoffs because of his shoulder. Then
right
same
shoulder,
thing. Hey Alex, come on, we know about the shoulder. That was.
Yeah, no, that was cut. That guy did a windmill.
It wasn't a windmill. It was a
windmill. It was a windmill.
It was a reverse.
I remember that. Man. It was a windmill.
Last year,
it was a windmill.
Reverse, wasn't it? It was two-hand reverse.
I remember him go.
Oh, you're stupid.
Last year,
it was a two-hand reverse.
What's the name of our group chat? Way off P. That's the name of our group chat.
Right, and we're gonna have to change that after this season.
Should have been.
I'm just saying, Pandemic P. I mean, come on. This guy had lowlights from his Game 7. Until I see highlights from a Game 7 of Paul George carrying his team through, not even carrying, just a good, solid performance. I'm not speaking on him again because it's.
Well, this is what I mean. I completely understand that because you're like most fans right now who need to see him do well in the playoffs until they give him any credit. Why can't we just lower these weird standards we put on him so quickly and actually go, let's see how he performs in the regular season. Because he's playing way better than Kawhi. He's playing way better than anyone on the Clippers. And they're one of the top teams in the West right now. I mean, can that not be enough for right now? Let's just see where he goes.
Okay, fine. Right now, we'll appreciate it. But don't forget, it's not just the fans putting the pressure on Paul George. He's putting it on himself. No one labels himself playoff P. Except for Paul George. No one does that to themselves. If you're going to talk like you're a LeBron, like you're a KD, you need to back it up.
He doesn't really, man. Come on.
He doesn't take the blame as well. He
doesn't take the blame. Even Doc, his coach from last year.
He didn't take the blame for the playoffs.
You know, I mean...
That was because he was salty about his daughter, man.
Listen. He's a quality basketball player. He's... For a 6'9" guy, the way he moves, the way so silky on the ball, it's really good to watch. But as I said, I can appreciate what he's doing in the regular season, but I will not be bigging him up until I see production in the postseason.
And why aren't we speaking about that? Why aren't we speaking like that about Giannis?
We're not speaking about Giannis.
But I'm just saying, we don't disrespect Giannis like that.
I think Giannis got his fair share of disrespect this summer.
He did not get PG 13%. He did not
because he didn't play that bad.
Way off P. No.
His team crumbled.
His team crumbled, but the thing is, they're a well-coached organization.
Yes,
they've got good players that can win a number of. They've been the by far the best team in the league regular season for the last 2 years, right?
And this is what
regular season.
Regular season. We're not having that.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you can't do it in the playoffs. It doesn't matter.
And Giannis, trust me, Giannis got the disrespect.
It's not my point that you can't do it in the playoffs. I'm just saying, Giannis has been a good regular season player, but he can't do it in the playoffs. That's the same as Paul George. But we don't disrespect Giannis like we do PG.
I think Giannis does get his fair share of disrespect. And trust me, with this contract he's on now, if we don't see a finals appearance from the Bucks, which I think also...
And we're not going to.
I don't think we are. And I bet he's looking at that contract now like, gee, why the hell...
I should have gone Miami.
Is Chris Boucher. Listen, let me tell you something about Chris Boucher. When he first sort of came out through the G League a couple of seasons ago, just look at him. Complete freak of nature. 7'1", I think he is. That thin.
I think he's 6'11".
The way he shoots the ball, it's like a slingshot. It's ridiculous. You think, how can this guy do well in the league? Couple seasons pass, sign that deal in the summer. You're thinking, a bit overpaid there. Why? That seemed like a panic from Masai and Bobby again. And then start of the season, he's been unbelievable. He's second in player efficiency rating, second in win shares per 48, only behind Jokic. He's third in blocks in the league, third in offensive rating, and fourth in true scoring. Coming off the bench, I think Chris Boucher is probably front runner for sixth man of the year right now. 25-10 last night. He's 15-6 on the season. I think without him, first of all, the Toronto Raptors would be even worse, considering he's the only scoring off the bench. And secondly, I think that's what it's gonna be like from here on forward. He's the only scoring off the bench for them, and if he doesn't play well, the Raptors don't win.
Well, you know what? I think you're dealing with two things there, because I think individually, I really like his game at the moment, and you're completely right about all of those stats. A lot of them do him good. I think he's definitely playing well, and he's taken a step up. Whether the Raptors would do bad without him or whatever, I think it's more that some of those bench players are not coming the same as they were last year, right? We're seeing some of those because the Raptors have always had a very good bench. It's always been top five.
Tradition.
For the last, it's been a tradition. It's been a thing that we know about the Raptors. I think that's why he's slightly standing out more from a point of view if you're really analysing what's going on and why the Raptors are losing at the moment. But I still respect he's been great at the moment.
Yeah, well, I think if you look at the bench unit for Toronto, Norman Powell has been fairly watchable. Terence Davis hasn't, obviously he had his case of the summer. He's had an incident, hasn't played well at all. Malachi Flynn hasn't really played enough. The other centre coming off the bench is Alex Len, and I think I don't even need to speak about him. Stanley Johnson is the only other, and Yuta Watanabe, I don't know if you've seen anything about him. He's been brilliant. Yeah. Those three are the only ones coming off the Raptors bench, which again, as you said, is like a surprise you'd expect knowing the Raptors bench. It was only 3 years ago you had the bench mob of Van Vliet, Siakam, Pirtle.
Oh, man.
You know, it was brilliant, but they are struggling now, and I think Boucher is keeping them going. So we'll see if he can keep it up. I really hope he does, because I think he's worked really hard. Obviously, the ACL injury prevented him from being a lottery pick. I think he would have been, and he would have broke through at the Warriors too when he was there. But I think Boucher's been my standout performer of this week.
He's really blossomed. But no, my player of the week is Tyrese Maxey. Yeah, Tyrese Maxey is my pick. He dropped 39 when half of the
team had COVID.
Was
Sorry, can I just say that? What's going on with that? They had 7 players and played. I don't.
And they had no allegations, right?
Well, it's because
they had Joel Embiid as fit, but not fit.
Yeah, they had. It was Embiid or Simmons. They listed it fit, and then they saw Embiid. They were gonna Embiid. Sorry, and then that was a strange one. And Embiid's been tweeting about that. They hate the process. That's what he's been saying.
No, he dropped 39. He's now the second. He's got the second most points as a rookie behind LaMelo, and he looks really good. He just does everything, man.
No, I agree. I was watching that game and I was thinking, damn, Danny Green and Dwight Howard, 2 guys who've been in the league a while, they both were looking pretty stiff, and I was thinking, this bench mob is not looking good. But Tyrese Maxey, man, he came out and balled.
If you were Philly, would you have given him up with Simmons for Harden?
No, but if I was Rockets, I would have wanted to get Simmons and him, because
I think that is what they wanted, isn't it? That's what they were asking for.
Because if we're being real, given that up. Yeah, if we're being real, they're the only team that lost from this trade.
The Rockets.
I mean, I think they didn't win.
Yeah, well, they were selling anyway, weren't they?
They've got four picks and 4 swaps, right?
4 first-round picks, which will be around the 20s, 30s. They're all Milwaukee.
Unprotected, though. Unprotected
sure?
picks.
They're 4 best swaps as well.
Yeah, but you're right. They didn't pick up a. I thought I don't know whether the Celtics offered it, but that's who I would have been. I would have been on Boston for Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and some picks. That's what I would have done, but I don't know whether the Celtics.
He didn't really speak about Boston nearly as much. We knew that he wanted to go to Brooklyn, so I think that's
all 6
part of the reason. All right, well, what are we saying for predictions going into this next week?
Well, I'm gonna say it again with my Toronto Raptors. Good win last night.
Nets are losing the next 3.
Wow, he just dropped that, huh? Why is that?
Are you assuming that all of them play?
Nah, they won't. I mean, Kyrie won't play.
Kyrie's back on Saturday.
Kyrie won't play for a few more games. No, I'm joking. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. No, they'll win a few games. I want to see what that looks like, to be honest. Just really intrigue me.
My prediction is that for the first game, I don't know when it's going to be, for the first game those 3 played together, one of them's going to drop 50. I think.
Nah.
I think one of them's going to go crazy, and they're going to.
Well, they're playing the Magic. Well. They're playing the Magic on Saturday.
I don't think Harden's playing on Saturday. I think all of the players in the trade have to pass their physical before he does that.
Okay. Tuesday Bucks.
Tuesday. Oh, that's going to be a hell of a game. That's one, if they play. Wow, that's going to be a good game. Sheesh. But yeah, I'm going to stick by that. I think one of them will go off, and just like they did first night of the season, I think they'll say, "Oh, favorites for the chip," all of that, and then slowly the carnage at Brooklyn will unfold, and it will be funny to watch, I think.
And the Lakers will go back to back.
I don't really. One thing I was going to say is that I think talking about that, what's going to happen with that sort of that lower end of the playoff picture in the West. I think we've got to start questioning that Pelicans organization, because I mean, if you list the talent, I was still a bit skeptical on how Brandon Ingram won Most Improved last year, right? Because even though he played amazingly, they didn't make playoffs. They had Zion, they had Lonzo. Now they've got Steven Adams, they've got Eric Bledsoe, Josh Hart, Melly. I mean, they've got Redick.
I think quite a few of them are off, are they not?
Nikhil as well.
Yeah,
he's been great. 37. He's been great recently. I'm slightly confused at what's going wrong there, and how Brandon Ingram has not been playing well, and I find that organization a bit weird. I know design hype's still there, but
I didn't like the Bledsoe trade at all. I did not like that.
Was a weird trade, Bledsoe coming off a bad year as well.
That just made me feel upset.
Yeah,
I think it is a young team, but it's a young team with vets as well. It's sort of the perfect mix. You got to wonder, why they aren't pushing. And I don't even think Zion's the star of that team. I get what you're saying about Ingram, but I think Ingram's actually been pretty good this season.
I think he's played very well.
The last week he had a few stinking games. I think he was like 2 from 11 in one.
He's averaging 24, 7, and 6.
Okay, so that concludes episode 2 of the Big 3 podcast. I want to say a massive thank you for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like and a comment if you disagree with us or anything you want to see in future videos. But for now, see you next time. Thank you.
Peace.